Welcome, everybody. We are back for another edition of the ABJ Podcast. This is episode 2. So we are rolling around 2 weeks in a row, 2 live episodes. This is, like I said, this is going to be the format for a little bit until I'm able to start sitting down with people in person, and I have the equipment I want to do that. I'm still not right where I want to be, but so I'm doing a lot of these remote, and plus it's a lot easier for everybody remote, especially busy guys like my guest here today. So I'm going to bring him in with no further ado here. Actually, before I do that, make sure you check out all your favorite podcast apps. We are available everywhere now. I've never been available on Pandora or like iHeartRadio, so that's kind of cool. So ABJ Podcast is available everywhere, as well as all social media. And the link trees below will show you everything for our guest, as well as merchandise links, Patreon, and all that fun stuff if you would like to support the podcast in any way. But without further ado, let me bring my guest in. What's going on, man?
What's going on, dude? How you doing?
Let people know who you are.
My name is Javi Torres, drummer for Fate's Got a Driver. I'm excited to be here. That's for
sure. So we met way back in the day, 2018-ish, when the band was still kind of trucking along in the beginning there.
We're slowly taking off. Yeah. No, it was, geez, that was a long. Was it in Pottsville or before that?
No. So I actually met you. You guys did a show in Scranton at a little tiny bar where the stage was about as big as this room, and you guys had no room to do anything.
Yes, I do remember. I didn't even know. I think
your drums broke that night, or a cymbal shattered.
It shattered, and Uncle Dan, Uncle Dan, he's
actually
took the cymbal. I just gave it to him because I wasn't going to use it. But literally, the stage was like as big as that thing right there. I don't even know how I fit all my cymbals and how everybody just fit all their equipment up there. But it was such a crazy show. Everybody was just like shoulder to shoulder, the smallest bar ever. But I do remember that Scranton.
Yeah,
I remember The Office. That's why, even though The Office was filmed in LA.
Yeah, and then a few weeks after that, you guys played in Pottsville, but it was more of an impromptu thing where there was a giant snowstorm. And,
oh my God. That was, I will never forget that show. That show was so memorable. Because literally our original show got canceled. We were all bummed out, super bummed, because it's like we wanted to play at this venue or whatever, and like it was maybe our first tour, second tour, or whatever, and our show got canceled, and I think we got a flat tire that day too. Our trailer got a flat tire, and Randy made a few phone calls. My singer Randy made a few phone calls, literally a few phone calls, stay on the phone for like an hour, and then suddenly we have a show. Suddenly we have somebody that has the same size tire that just gave it to us and came over and fixed it, or whatever. And then the show was so memorable, and it meant a lot to me because literally like 150 people showed out at Pottsville for us. And it was like, even though a band, I don't even know how Randy did this. Randy got a band to open for us day up. They had photographers, videographers, like
dude, that is the absolute beauty of, I always tell people, man, like, I love where we're from, Northeast Pennsylvania. I love it. I'll never leave it. Everyone trashes on it, says this area, Luzerne, School County area sucks. But literally, like, that's what you get when you have this friend group that we have in our Northeast area. And you have, like, we can literally make a phone call and our friends are going to come out and support. And, like, you know what I mean? A band they don't know, but they're like, oh, Randy's a part of it. We're there. And everyone came out in a snowstorm, got hammered, drunk, put a full production on. And we had a blast.
Yeah, it was honestly, I remember, no joke, because it's funny how much people like support the band from Pottsville because of Randy, right? But I remember like for a second, I took my headphones off and I can hear people singing, like it was just insane. It was absolutely amazing. That is till today. I don't care where I've played, literally the best show I've ever played.
And you guys had someone on the road with you guys as well who was like an acoustic opener, and I remember him even saying for most of his years after that show was the most memorable experience he had on his road too. I believe in Winds, was he?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I know. The thing is I think it was in Winds. I believe it was in Winds. Yeah. He was doing like an acoustic thing or whatever, and we brought him on tour with us or whatever. So yeah.
But I remember him even saying after, he's like, that was the craziest experience where we just showed up at this like this little tiny town and everyone just showed up and showed out, which is that's a cool badge of honor for us here in the Skook.
Well, it's not, you know what is the crazy part is too, they didn't just showed up and actually paid for a ticket. Literally, they bought most of our merch.
Yeah,
which is insane. So we were speechless. Like Pottsville alone, like if people can do that, there's literally no excuse. That was amazing.
Yeah,
I wish I can go back to that day and just relive those moments because it was awesome.
Well, maybe spoiler alert, we'll be talking about something a little later, but yeah, if you are listening to the audio of this, just know, thank you for supporting the audio side of this podcast, but we are always live on YouTube, so make sure you go search Anthony Blackwell or ABJ Podcast on YouTube. We have some people in the chat right now. Mr. K9 says, what's up, Anthony? My boy Axel in the chat saying, I'm currently in the car, be home in 5 minutes. The Anthony Gaze Podcast says Blackwell, and Jake the Tribal Chief, we acknowledge you. It says, "What's up, AV and Javi?" So yeah, we got it going, man.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
So I was looking at some stuff, and I found that you have your own little YouTube channel there. I was watching you do some drum covers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I need to work on that. I wish you told me you were talking about this because I would have had a better display available.
Well, no, where I was, the reason I'm asking this question is what would you, for people who never listened to Fate's Got a Driver, what type of music would you say you guys are geared into?
Man, I would say post-hardcore. It's strange. Not strange, but I always, when people ask me that question, I just tell them, you listen to it and you tell me.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's like it could be so many things. Post-hardcore is obviously what we're going for, like the emo type of thing. Because it's like bands like, huge bands like Taking Back Sunday, like just emo bands in general, like they've inspired us and honestly created the people that you see before you. You know what I'm saying? They got me through my like, oh man, my parents don't understand phase.
Yeah. How could this happen to me?
Yeah, exactly. Man, I was tearing up in the car and I didn't even have my license yet. You know what I'm saying?
Like, so one of the first videos I seen was you playing a little Latin music on the drums.
Yes. Oh, dude. I grew up on like gospel, Latin, jazz, fusion type of music. So whenever I get an opportunity to actually like jam out, I love like shed sessions and learning, different rhythms and different counts and stuff like that. So yeah, that one I had to do it because that was the same week that my grandpa died, right? He passed away, unfortunately, or whatever. And he loved music in general. You know what I'm saying? He loved what he went to a couple, not shows, but some live performances that I did or whatever, like at a church or whatever. And he just loved music. And so I did it honestly to honor him. I remember, and I because he loved that type of music, Latin, it was Latin fusion. And I love the fusion part of it. It's just like really, really, really like hard stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like you really have to be on point with your count and everything. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for noticing.
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing too, is people, from an outside perspective, they listen to like the rock or this, and everyone kind of puts people in a category like, well, this music is more geared to this and these types of people, and you're coming out of a church, you're Spanish culture, and now you're into the emo music too. So you bring something to the table in this genre that I think stands out, and I think which helps Fate's Got a Driver have a different tone. Your fills are different. The way you sneak shit in there without it being overdone, like it's so good. Like I'm a big fan of it.
I appreciate that, and I'm glad somebody noticed. Like because it's like I don't know if people notice, but I love the fact that I can, I think people can be really good at one thing and master that one style. You get what I'm saying? But to master all styles, because music is so big, you got reggaeton, you got you know, salsa, songo, you have, you know, gospel chops and you know, different versions of music, classical, jazz, all that stuff. Like, seriously, you should definitely like learn everything and try to master everything, just because it's like I try to incorporate like drum fills within you know what I'm saying, like gospel drum fills within rock music, because not a lot of rock people do that. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff that I lay, some licks that I lay in there that not a lot of people do.
So I had a group of friends who moved from New York to Pennsylvania, and they brought that Southern gospel style, like from New York to PA, and I was the only white dude in the whole church, and they would take me to other churches, and I would experience, you know, like Southern Baptist church, non-denomination church, and just like these long 14-hour praise and worship services that even happen before the service starts, and then another 16-hour one that happens after, where you're there your entire Sunday into next Sunday. But some of the best drummers I've ever heard in my entire life have been in these no one ever heard of church services. They're amazing.
And you know what's crazy? So I learned how to play drums. I didn't take any classes or anything. I didn't take any classes until I was 25. And that's because I wanted to learn how to read music, like read charts, just in case there's like a gig, you know what I'm saying? Hey, play this. They hand me that. I know how to read it and I do it. But before then, I would literally at church sit next to the drummer for hours. And because he played literally for hours, because it was like a 4 or 5 hour session. And then I go home and then mimic the same thing that I did or that he was doing. And that's how I learned. And then I remember, like, you know, there was a head drummer and I wanted to be the head drummer at the church, right? So I got better, became the head drummer. And then there's new guy came in, you know, it was just like almost a competition, but a healthy competition.
Yeah.
But those drummers are absolutely insane. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad I grew up in that era, you know what I'm saying? Because it's absolutely crazy. The stuff that some stuff I didn't even know existed. They do it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, we got a little background of you and how you got into the drumming session. Let's kind of take it back to 2018 when the band formed.
Yeah. You know what's it's crazy. When I got the call from Eddie, I thought it was like fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way, you know, the dude from Taking Back Sunday is gonna call me. And just to give you a little backstory, actually, I was in a rock band 8 years before joining this one, and I was in that band, and that's where I met Eddie. I met Eddie at Warped Tour. I met Eddie at Warped Tour, and he was the coolest dude. I you know what I'm saying? He was like, I got to hang out with Taking Back Sunday on the bus. You know, he gave me backstage passes to the shows. I watched them perform in front of thousands, and literally because of that show, and I even have a video of it, I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and that was that. I'm not even joking, and it's crazy. So I kept in touch through Facebook with Eddie. You know what I'm saying? I would literally send him like shitty music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, yo, check what I did, blah blah blah. Garbage if I listen to it now. Like, it was just horrible, mixed horror. It was just bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but what's it called? Like, so it's funny that, so Eddie was playing in my hometown, which is Rochester, New York. He was playing at a venue called Water Street, and I remember this day like it was yesterday. I will never forget it. It is my band that I was in actually ended up like, so they the venue lost their liquor license. It's a whole story, but the venue lost their liquor license. Surprise, surprise. And what ended up happening, they're like, yo, Javi, let's go drink in the bus. I'm like, all right, cool. So I get in the bus, they hand me a beer and they go, hey, we're not here to drink, we're actually here to kick you out. I'm like, what? I'm like, I just paid you guys for the album. What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, we feel like we're going different ways. You know, band drama, just stupid band drama. I was so pissed. I didn't even let them finish. I literally just walked out. I'm like, because I'm the type of person that's like, you don't want to be around me, I'm not going to hang around you.
You're not gonna hurt. I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt my feelings, but I'd rather you be honest and like, because if they had that planned, that was something they've talked about for months. Like that could have easily been you could have been involved in that conversation.
I do not, you know what I'm saying? It had to be planned. They talked about it. Whatever. Okay, cool. So I remember, no joke, and I was like, I was angry.
Did you keep the beer?
No, I gave it back to them.
Fuck,
it was a sympathy
you should have took 3 more.
I am not drinking that shit. It's a sympathy beer. Get out of here.
I'd have been like, taking these and these.
I literally, I was like, I handed it to them angry. I was like, here, take this, man. You know, go with your beer. And then so I walked out, and I remember, no joke, this is a true story, and this is what I was going to tell you earlier. Like, I was in front of the venue. I didn't even go in. I had backstage passes. Eddie gave it to me. I didn't even go in. I was just outside, and of course, it's raining. It just starts raining out of nowhere. The movie scene, and I'm like tearing up, blah blah blah. You know, because I'm like angry. I'm so angry because I literally dedicated a lot of time and effort into this, and it was just like the worst time in my life for this to even happen. It was whatever. Eddie actually saw me, I guess, because it was in front of the bus. I didn't even know it was his bus, and he walked out and he was like, "What are you doing out here? It's rain, like it's in the rain." I was like, "Dude." There was
easily like a shelter that you could have sat under, but you're like, no, I'm getting rained on.
Dude, you know
the light's on me, everything else is dark. Yeah,
like you might as well. You know what I'm saying? Like this is might as well feel this in like 4D.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my emotions. My tears. I'm crying. The sky's crying. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so. And Eddie came out, and I will never forget this. And he comes up to me, goes, "Yo, what are you doing here? Go." You know, I gave you backstage passes. Go hang up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, my band just kicked me out. Like, I didn't want to break down too much, but like I was really holding, you know, when men like just really hold it. I'm like, bro. Mm-hmm. And he was like, screw all that. Don't worry about that. I got something for you. That's what he said. And I thought he was blowing smoke up my ass, right? I thought he was blowing smoke up my ass, whatever. I don't, but no, you know, so it's funny. And he also cursed out that band. He called them evil dicks or whatever that same night, which is crazy because all of them looked up to him, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And it's crazy. So it 7 years later, I get a call, and it was actually that. So yeah, I mean, moral of the story: keep sending your heroes your shitty music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like. One day you'll get a phone call. But yeah, he asked me to be in the band, and you know, that's where I met, you know what I'm saying, that's where I met back then. Michael Drum was in the band, you know what I'm saying, and he was the first bandmate I met. And then Randy, it's so funny, me and Randy are like, he's my best friend right now, you know what I'm saying, like the dude, he's my brother.
He's infectious.
He is, dude, he is. So but it's funny because he knew I was Christian, right? So he was like, He was worried that I was gonna screw the art, you know what I'm saying, the art side of the things, or like hold them down or suppress them. And I'm like, dude, I'm not. You know, I actually told him, call me, like have a phone call with me. So me and him talked for like an hour or two of just straight up, and I told him like, dude, I respect art so much. You get what I'm saying? So if there's like something that looks like dark or whatever, that's what that person's feeling. And that's, you get what I'm saying? Like if that's what they paint, that's what they paint. I'm not going to stop that. I love art. I love all types of art. Just because like I'm Christian doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying?
Like the main logo of the band for a while was 2 hands with a cross and an upside down cross.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah. That was to be honest, that was Eddie's daughter that drew that. Mm-hmm. And because, you know, we were trying to support her art, and, you know what I'm saying, like people don't know that, but it was you know what I'm saying, we decided to make that a thing.
Now, as a Christian, was that conflicting to you at all?
Oh yeah. The
upside down cross and the Antichrist references.
At the end of it, it's not so much like that's the thing that people need to understand. It wasn't so much like that was there. You know what I'm saying? Of course, as a Christian, it bothers, but at the end of the day, that's not what it really meant. It was just good and evil. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. And then obviously that's the thing. People think that because, you know, like we're Christian or that I'm Christian, that I walk around with my Bible. No, I'm honestly, unfortunately, I'm probably worse than Randy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know.
Wow.
Like, but you get what I'm saying? It's it's not like me and Randy had so much respect for each other after that conversation. because he understood where I understood where he was coming from, and he understood where I was coming from. It only took one conversation. Same thing with the hands and stuff. I wasn't for that, but the fact that like somebody created it, a little girl created it, and it just meant good and evil. You get what I'm saying? Like
I own it on a hat. It's still I still have the hat.
Yeah, it went on a hat. It went on T-shirts. Like, and it was cool for her. To, it made her happy. You know what I'm saying? She got her artwork displayed on a big banner that the band uses to tour with. It was cool, so it was conflicting, but not at the same time, not really, because I knew what it meant. You know what I'm saying? Other people can take it how they want to. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
what was your first night hanging out with Randy? Did you get a Randy night, or was he conservative because he didn't want to make a bad impression?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't remember. So I probably got a Randy night. So
you were probably with Randy having a Randy night.
No, when he came in, as good, crazy. That guy is I tell my wife, he's an evil genius. He is seriously an evil. He knows so much, man. And he's so smart. And honestly, he came as good as he is singing, because I don't think he gives himself enough credit. As good as it is, he came like humble and just like willing to learn. I remember like he kept asking, "What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of that?" You know what I'm saying? When we first met, you know what I'm saying? So, but it really took that conversation for me to actually, because if we didn't have that conversation, it no way. You know what I'm saying? Like communication is the key, man. And
yeah.
Since then, dude, I love that dude. I would do anything for him. No joke. He's so. I'm so glad that he's my singer, man. And for a moment, he was like thinking about leaving, and we were just like, please don't. Like, yeah. I literally, I love that dude. Randy's the man.
So I love Randy as well, and I feel like a lot of times people like you don't want your friends to be taken advantage of or anything like that. Not saying that you guys were going to, but like when Randy really jumped feet first into this band, he went from being around here all the time to just leaving, and like no, we like, you know what I mean, like don't see him as much, and he's doing his thing. And then I met you guys, and I think I even like pulled you aside after the first time we talked to Scrat. I'm like, yo, thank you, like that's my dude. I'm like, and like just I remember telling you like you just were so genuine and such like what he needed as a person, and I think you guys together, and all three are just great for each other. Like you're like
honestly, I'll be honest, this is a really good team. Yeah, no joke. Randy, Adam, you know what I'm saying? Like we fight like brothers, that's for sure. we definitely do.
But you have to get it out and have the conversation.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's really all love. Like same the way I love Randy is the same way I love Adam. Adam's my boy. And you know what I'm saying? Like we all just been through so much, even before this album, in the past like 2 to 3 years. It's been, I can't even like I'll even share some stories, but it's like the tip of the iceberg of like emotionally, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's breakups, there's this, there's that. It was just absolutely insane. But we all stuck with each other, and you know what I'm saying, we grew together and stuff like that. And just when we were about to call it quits, we were like, no, screw that. Let's actually make more music. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we went, I can say, balls deep into like, you know what I'm saying, this new album. And we created this stuff out of like pure emotion and a lot of heart into it too. And I'm excited. It was announced, but I don't think it got the recognition that it was supposed to. But everybody knows, anybody who knows me and knows since I've been playing drums, like at least rock, Let Live has always been one of my top favorite bands ever. And Jean just joined our band. He was the guitarist of Let Live, and I've known that dude for years. I love him. I met him also on Warped Tour the same year that I met Eddie, which is insane. And I also passed. I remember because he was playing. I saw him, and I passed like back then. There was like business cards for bands. That was so whack. I can't believe we had that. But like, you know what I'm saying? Dude, that always got thrown away. I'm pretty confident it did. But
people always say like you have to make business cards for your podcast. But I'm like, what if I just order 100 stickers and give them out? Because I'm like, I have the punk rock mentality.
yeah, dude. I don't blame you. So, but it's funny, and I met Jean there, and you know what I'm saying, after Eddie and left, Fate's Got a Driver or whatever, we were looking for a guitarist, and I'm like, I haven't talked to this dude in years. I'm talking about years. I haven't talked to Jean in so long. And I don't even think he would remember me. And I literally messaged him on Instagram like, dude, I don't know if you remember me. But, we hung out a couple of times, like a couple of years ago at Warped Tour and a couple other things. And I send him my music, whatever. I was like, we're looking for a guitarist or whatever. Oh, sorry. That was actually okay. Adam calling. Yeah.
Put him in.
Yeah, we should, right? Put him on. What's it called? Where was I? Yeah. So I was like, there's a band, you know what I'm saying? I think you should take a look at it. And Lord and behold, a year later, we're writing music together. And it's just awesome. It was just really, really cool. Really, really cool. And now he's in the band. And I don't think it's gotten a lot of recognition. So I'm just mentioning it again. Jean is one of the craziest guitarists you'll ever meet these days. No joke. His licks, everything, it's just on point. If you met this dude, I can't wait for you to meet him in person. He just has like such a unique style. Everybody just has a unique style, and that's what I love about this band. So cool.
When is the full album going to be dropping?
So I think these days people don't really listen to full albums.
So you're just dropping singles?
Yep. I think we're just gonna drop singles for a while. A couple of music videos and stuff like that. Like just a heads up too, and I'll even announce it right now. With the song, I do have a drum video coming out for the song, and I was actually forced to make it, and I'll even and nobody knows. I'm just gonna tell it all because I haven't announced it yet, but I did accept an endorsement deal with Collision Drumsticks, which is awesome. You know what I'm saying? It started maybe a week ago, which is cool.
Nice. Congratulations.
So they were like, hey, if you can make a video, and I couldn't just make a regular video of me playing my electric set. You know what I'm saying? I can't. So I went all out, and I hired a videographer, and we did a setup. It's dope, dude. I'm excited for this new video, and I'm gonna add it to my YouTube channel.
Awesome. So we were talking a little before the camera, and I made a thing. I'm always the one that says like, put your thoughts out in the universe and hopefully they happen. Like one of my goals, my bucket list, like, I don't know if I could do a full one. I don't know. Cause it seems like an experience, but like how I do the podcast, I think it'd be dope to like go on tour with a band and do it. Like, you know what I mean? Dude, but what is life? No. Yeah,
you are more than welcome to come.
Yeah, well, that's my question. Is what is now? You have a family, you have children. Yeah. How is the balance between being a family man as well as being on the road and living that rock star life like?
No such thing as balance. I'll be honest. No, not at all. Here's the thing. Like a lot of people don't realize. Like I think out of everybody in the band, I think I have to work the hardest before tour, right? Because I have to make sure that all of the bills are paid on time, right? And I also make sure that the babysitters are also lined up because my wife does work. So, nannies, whatever, and then make sure that they're paid. I also make sure, like that just things are on point. If there's anything that needs to be fixed around the house, I make sure that like I take care of it beforehand. It's not easy, man. It's not easy, being away from your kids, being away from like your wife, and it's like these past couple of years, I've been blessed to obviously, forcefully, right, to be at home a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful that even my regular job, I actually can work remotely. You know what I'm saying? So I actually just bring my work on tour with me.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, nobody knew. See, that's the thing. Everybody thinks like I do music full time, which I do in a way because I do like studio sessions. I was teaching earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I also I'm actually like an IT nerd. I'm a senior engineer for a company. And so that I bring that on tour with me. So I make sure like, that we're somewhat making money and up to par with the bills and everything like that. But it's not easy. I'll be honest. It mentally, I think the first 3 days is hard, man. It's hard because like I have a 1-year-old, but at the end, the only thing that keeps me going, I think, is the fact that I do have such a huge opportunity here. I think I can speak on behalf of every single of the bandmates. We have such a huge opportunity, and the amazing things that are about to come and head our way, the amazing people that we're working with already. There's no reason to stop. Like if this was like a little garage band or something like that, no way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we've all made some serious sacrifices. I had a computer engineering job at the University of Rochester, right? And I quit that because they weren't allowing me to go on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like this is how serious it is. Adam's made sacrifices, Randy's made sacrifices. Like it's no joke. This is how strongly like we believe in it. But the whole balancing, there's no such thing. If there's anything that I learned is like life is like juggling, right? You juggle your relationship with your wife, you juggle your career here, your career there, blah blah blah. And every day you're gonna drop the ball and fail. The secret is not to keep dropping the same ball. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't spend enough time with your girl one day, make sure the next day you do spend time. You know what I'm saying? So realizing that you're gonna fail has helped me a lot because it was giving me anxiety trying to be like Mr. Perfect. That's for sure.
I'm going through it now with their commentary. Like every weekend, it's like, oh, I'm not home again. She's like, all right. I'm just like, thank you for being so supportive because I'm trying here.
Dude, but it's not easy because I think women want results now, and men will get those results, but it just takes a long time. You know what I'm saying?
I'm very, like how you said, fortunate and blessed to have, such a strong support system with me as well, that she's letting me pursue this. But that, I think the coolest, like how you were saying with the band and anything in life, if you have a team and you're relying on those people, like I think everyone realizes what's at stake, not just for themselves, but the other people in the band. Like, hey, if I'm not on my game today, like this person's taking time away from his family and his wife. And like, you kind of all know each other's situations to respect each other enough to be like, when we're together now, this is it. Like, this is like, we got to get it done, And I think that's awesome.
It's solid, man. I'll be honest. We just have a good, solid, not just skill set, but my mentality and just a lot of, it sounds corny saying it, but heart. Everybody has a lot of heart into this, man. It's like we've cried together, no joke. Like we've shared the most insane things, you know what I'm saying, like of our personal lives and whatever. And we're just here for it, man. And we're ready. We are 100% ready. We've been ready. And now it's like time to show everybody. You get what I'm saying? Like nothing, we've got too far to not see what the outcome is. And I promise you, I'm like, we're pushing, and it's going to be 2023. I'm claiming it right now on your podcast is going to be an amazing year for my band.
Well, that was a segue. When is the gas filling up the van? When is the equipment going in? And when is the,
So it's funny that you mentioned that. So we were, we have to get our feet wet first because we haven't played a show in such a long time. So Randy's like, hey, why don't, because we're meeting all together. We're actually going to meet in Nashville. We're going to do a photo shoot, you know what I'm saying, and maybe a video or whatever. And
how cool is that city?
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Every time someone tells me, I'm like, dude, it sounds so sick.
I met
walked down the street, into a bar, live music. Like I would eat that up.
It's amazing. I love Nashville and I love the people there. It is definitely overcrowded with like artists, but they all have a good support system. Like they all support each other. You know what I'm saying? And in big ways. And whether they do covers, originals, doesn't matter. They actually show up for shows. And that's something that a lot of people have not been doing. But I feel like emo is coming back, which is
very much so
good thing. Really good thing. And just in time for the rest of our songs and what we're gonna release and the people we're gonna be working with and stuff like that.
I remember saying back in 2018, your first tour, I'm like, dude, stay in the pocket. I think it's coming back. Like I think we were all saying like emo's gonna come back, and dude, it did.
It did, and it's coming back extremely strong. And I think it's gonna be around for a while, to be honest.
What's beautiful.
I think people just needed that real music again and needed to be reminded of like where they came from. If that makes sense.
Once the ladies realized like, oh, we can go back to looking like goth emo chicks, like
yeah,
oh and everyone, the whole world's like, yes.
Yes, yes, it's acceptable. Yes, we don't have to actually dress our age anymore. We can dress how we used to because that's
I got the chain wallet ready to go.
Yes. Oh my god. I used to have that. It was so annoying though. But I remember the baggy pants and I had the what is it? Is it audio shoes or whatever? Like I had
Oh shit, what are they called?
Globes. I had globes.
Like
skate shoes or whatever.
I was an Airwalk kid. I liked Airwalks.
Nice.
But now they're like Payless. They're garbage, I think.
Nah, it's okay, dude. But yeah, I remember those. Yeah, so I'm excited that that's coming back. I'm excited because it just lines up with us. It really lines up with us, and now we just need to. We're working with like an amazing, PR agency, and they're just killing it right now. I mean, they're probably the reason why we've been featured in like 14, 15 magazines and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, is because of them, and we appreciate that a lot.
So you're saying about you're going to Nashville, and then after Nashville you're saying possibly maybe a little warm-up show?
Yeah, actually it's been booked. We haven't announced it, but I'll throw it in here so everybody can get a little bit of an early access. So yes, we are actually playing a show in Nashville at the Vinyl Factory on the 3rd. That's a Saturday, and we'll be announcing that very shortly, as well as like promoting it and stuff like that. That will be our very first show in 2 years. Also our very first show with Jean, our new guitarist. And
are you guys a 4-piece band now?
Yep, we are a 4-piece band. Yeah. So we're gonna get there on the 30th. I don't know if you ever heard of a band called Make Them Suffer. They're from Australia. They're blowing up. Yeah, they are ridiculously good. And especially Jordan. Jordan, he's my boy. I met him on tour in Philly. We just ended up in the same bar together, and we were just hanging out or whatever. And I met them, and they're absolutely blowing up, doing really well. So, but we've talked about, touring together and stuff like that. So he's actually in town on the 30th. And he just hooked us up with passes, so we're gonna meet him on the 30th and kind of just chill out and catch up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna feel good because my last tour is the last time I saw Jordan. You know, nice. So I'm really excited to see my friend, and I'm excited for him to meet the other bandmates and stuff like that, and just get together and possibly set up a tour. That's for sure. So
yeah, these tours have been awesome. I kind of fell off a little bit with the music only because my things got a little crazy with, ending the 5 podcasts, starting a new channel, trying to build everything back up, as well as the wrestling stuff for me kind of blowing up. But, the 2 bands I always I stick my hat in. I say like that. They're my 2 guys is you guys and Crowbot. And I just got to see Crowbot for the first time in a while in Philly. They're on tour with Gwar, which I knew nothing about Gwar. So I went into that shit.
Bro, I hope you wore like not a new shirt.
So with I have a joint disorder, so I looked at that pit and I go, "There's no way I can go in there without getting hurt. No chance. I'm gonna dislocate my knee."
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be nonsense. So I did come with the white shirt, and I even bought a white Gwar shirt, and I was like, man, I'm gonna I kind of wanted to have a fucked up shirt. Once again, your Schuylkill County friends are always gonna come through for you. So yep. I went with Eddie and that whole crew, Billy and Courtney, and I look at Courtney, I go, if I give you my shirt, will you go in there and fuck it up for me? And she goes, I got you. So she jumped in the pit, and I got me a
what?
I got me a.
Oh my god, it looks like tie-dye. That is awesome.
It's so cool. I'm afraid to wash it because I don't want it to all come out.
No, don't ever wash it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of pumped. So I got to see my first Gwar concert, and it's fun because I obviously everyone's there for Gwar, but it was fun to see a group of people, especially if you're kind of on the outside and you kind of know the people on stage. It's fun to see outsiders experience your buddy's band and see how they react to it. And you know what I mean? And it was like so cool seeing everyone's phones out recording your buddy's band. It's like, I don't know. It's just like, I just like rooting for my friends. You know what I mean? It's super dope to see.
Crowbot's amazing. We toured with them for a little bit, and dude, those guys, Bishop, I love them.
Yeah.
Bishop is so cool. Yeah. It's just so, you know what? It was just a good click. And what's it called? And we actually 2 or 3 of our songs are from our new album is actually written with Bishop.
Really?
Yeah, he was playing guitar on them. So it's fun. We have a couple songs with Crowbot, Bishop, and then we have a song that we wrote with Travis from We the Kings, which is really exciting. And I'm excited to release that one, honestly. And then we also have Rain City Drive, which was the Rose of May. We wrote that with them. What's it called, at their studio maybe a year ago. I think we all flew to Florida during the pandemic and just
I love how rock is doing that now, where everyone's collaborating with each other. I think that's something in the rock scene that hasn't been done in a long time, and you're seeing people featured on other people's tracks. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it because it brings more unity. You know what I'm saying? We're all in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we're just all in the same boat. It doesn't like this. Yeah, I love it. I love clashing with, especially, we clashed with when we flew to Florida to record a song with Rain City Drive, who used to be called Slaves. What's it called? It was just an instant click. No joke. It's like the music flew was flowing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just, everything was bam, 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 bam. Everything just felt like in place, and we grew, like we got like a brotherly bond with those guys. You know what I'm saying? And those guys will always be our boys for life. No joke.
Really, the music scene is a beautiful place to be. Well, we are getting close here to the end, so if there's anyone right now watching in the chat, if you have any questions, please put them in. We'd love to involve with the live side of things. I am trying to lock in this live stream podcast thing where you still can listen to this on all podcast platforms. So if you do, please support me by heading over to Spotify, Apple Music, wherever it may be. Leave a review, that helps out a lot, and subscribe over to the YouTube side of things. I'm on a quest to try to hit that 1K, so YouTube has to pay me. So doesn't cost you anything, but maybe we'll get these corporations to dish out some money to people. But yeah, anything else that we kind of missed that you definitely want to get out for the band, or any?
I don't think so, but it's just, again, for those people who are tuning in that don't know, we do have a song out. The band's called Fate's Got a Driver. The song is called Rose of May. We worked really, really hard on this album and traveled a crap ton. So just take listen to it, share it, follow us on Instagram, you know what I'm saying, Facebook, and just be with us in our journey. That's all I can say, honestly. Like, because we can't do this without any of you guys, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And just be with us. If we will have tours and stuff like that lined up that we're going to be announcing, that we're really excited. So if it's near your hometown, just come out and meet us, man. We don't bite.
Yeah. Randy might, but he'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
he has his shots. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Actually, the funniest thing on your first tour, one of your first tours, I remember, I don't know if Randy found it or someone found it and shared it amongst our friend group, but I guess like on a Reddit page or something, or someone left a comment or a review about going to a show, and they're like, yo, there was a show happening at my local bar, and this guy comes up to me, and we think he's like homeless or something, and he just like sat and drank with us for hours, and he was just having a blast, and he was telling us all these stories, and he was just so energetic, and we were like, who is this guy? And then we look over, and he's on stage, and he's killing it. And they were describing Randy.
Yeah, dude. Randy he's a magnet. He really is. Even live, I love the fact that he turns around and like smashes his head on my cymbals. Like, and I was like, dude, one day you're gonna get cut. He goes, good, I hope so.
I want it. Yeah.
Like, I want it. Yeah, blood. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So every time I always try to, like, when he goes near, I'm like, I'm gonna hit that one.
Yeah. The first time I ever seen live music, and the first time I was like went to a bar, my cousin Brian Roach, that's how I met Randy, was through Roach. He took me to see Randy's old band, And at the time, I believe he was playing with one of the members of Breaking Ben at the time. I believe Bug, his name, the bass player from and they were in a band. And I remember just watching this guy on stage and immediately got like Billy Joel vibes from Green Day. Like I was like, this guy, like he's like an independent version of Green Day. Like he's on there, he's jumping around the stage, he's jumping on people's shoulders, and the room had 50 people in it, but all 50 were looking at Randy and his showmanship, his stage presence, his vocals. He just sucked you in. And I remember watching it, and then every band I seen after that, I'm like, they're good, but I've never seen a guy like Randy before.
Dude, I'm so glad that Randy's a part of our, like he really, I think everybody in the band completes the band some way. Like the people who are in it right now are the people that were supposed to be in it. Like it's just it's ridiculous.
Randy's so good as a frontman that most frontmen in School County all have bits and pieces of Randy. Like they take a little bit of Randy and do their own thing.
Honest, I heard about that. I did hear about that when I went to Pottsville, and people were saying that. Like a lot of Randy's friends were saying that, and I believe it. The dude, he set a bar for people. Like this is what you need to do. Yeah. And that's why we're pushing this, because people need to see him. People need to see him. People need to see our music and hear us out. Like, dude, we want to set a bar. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to set a bar. I
feel like Adam didn't get a lot of love here. Let's talk a little Adam. How does he fit into the band? How did you guys meet? He has that long, luscious locks of hair now. That
he does. I think he
beautiful
should
beard.
Dude, yes, beautiful beard, beautiful Italian man from Florida, Orlando. You know what I'm saying? That dude's always tan, almost as tan as I am. You know, I'm naturally tan, but this guy, I don't know. He's catching up. Yeah. Adam, dude, if there's anything I can say about Adam, like he has a great heart, man, when it comes to like, because there's a point where I'm pretty sure he felt like he didn't know certain things about rudiments or even counts, you know what I'm saying, polyrhythms and all that stuff. My man literally, especially during COVID, he literally just started YouTubing stuff. And he just started learning more about his craft, which actually bettered him as a player. And I even noticed it. I don't even know if I even complimented him on it, but I even noticed that because, drummers and bass players, that's like, I'm only as good as my bass player and he's only as good as a drummer. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to be locked in. And my man literally has stepped up his game, and I'm so proud of him because he got so good. He actually got way better at throwing out licks that I didn't even know would fit the song. You know what I'm saying? Like that there's a lot more freedom, you know what I'm saying, now. And then so he was able to come through, and he came through real strong. So I love Adam. We should give Adam more love because he's an amazing dude. He really is. And his hair on point.
Listen, man, I feel you, Adam. I grew it out too.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I don't know what's going on. I don't even
is that difficult? Randy being, PA, and then also he spends a lot of time, I believe, in Detroit, and then you're up in New York, and Adam's in Florida. How, like, obviously getting together and recording is tough.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that shows dedication. Like we all have always lived in different cities. You know what I'm saying? We come together. At one point, I think we were coming together every single month for like a whole week. A week of that month was dedicated to rehearsal. You know what I'm saying? And it was hours and hours and hours of rehearsal. Just to get on point, bring a good show and all that stuff. It is tough money-wise because things are more expensive now. You know what I'm saying? But it's all worth it. Like when we get together, all of that kind of just like, it just doesn't matter. I don't care how much I paid to like get here, or you know what I'm saying? I had flights cancel on me and literally rented a car and drove like 7 hours in the blizzard to get to tour or get to where I needed to. You get what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
We just, that's the dedication that we have.
That might be the secret to the band though, because you're not up each other's butts all the time. You live in 3 different states. So when you're away, you kind of get to, you're not, you know what I mean? Like if you're always living with your best friend and you're with your best friend every day, it's just like, oh my God, I need a break.
we do miss each other. That's for sure. Yeah. And probably but we don't get tired of each other on tour. You know what I'm saying? We get annoyed at, obviously, you're living with that person for like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So there are 10 times where we do argue and stuff like that. But it's like, again, it's all brother love. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are literally family, and we look out for each other. There's a lot of times where they looked out for me. You know what I'm saying? There's times where we looked out for Adam, looked out for Randy. Like, we help each other out. You know what I'm saying? We're all in this together. Like, if you're down, like, we need to get you up.
All in there.
To do the dance moves. I don't even know what it is, but
yeah. Also, I don't know if we're getting any questions, and that's all right. We appreciate you guys all for tuning in and watching. But the links are below for Face Car Driver on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. Also linked below is their Spotify link. So if you click that, it'll take you right to Spotify. Give them a follow. Hit that follow button. Be a new monthly listener. That first album, I still love it. I listen every now and then. I actually have it physically on CD. I put it in the car every now and then. Just drive with the CD on. As well as their YouTube channel. So, and they do. I really like how you guys do those behind the scenes backstage footage, like kind of like like whoever's with you is just kind of capturing those moments and you put them together to a music video. I think that's a really cool take. Because like I said, knowing you guys and knowing the vibe and the love you guys have for each other, you could definitely feel like that's not a setup take where you're just like, act like we care. You know what I mean? Like, no, they're legit cool. Candid behind the scenes shots. Yeah. And it's done very beautifully. I want to thank you, man, so much. Like I said, not only just for the effort you put into your music, you're looking out for my boy Randy, and just, you know, how we've become close. Like when I first met you, I was still new to the podcast game, and I remember sitting in a bar in Scranton, and first time ever meeting you, just like how you said before we got on the air, like you're Randy's guy, you're my guy. You know what I mean? And you've always shown that. And I remember sitting down talking ideas of equipment and stuff like that, which I kind of took a little bit of advice from 5 years later.
Awesome.
So what I'm trying to save up for now is I want to do everything through GoPro. So remember how we were saying before, how you just kind of, actually it was me, you, and Adam were talking about this, because I remember Adam was doing stuff too, where he was like with a bar, like doing special drinks and stuff and videotaping it. And I was like, yo, I put a GoPro there, and then I want to have 3 GoPros. So if I'm interviewing people, there's different camera angles, and you can cut in between them, so there's something to watch. And then I bought these nice wireless microphone systems so I can put on the GoPros, so I can literally carry an entire podcast setup with me on a backpack, and I'm done. And I don't have to carry $1,500 worth of cameras and all these cases. I can literally take a 4-camera shoot with me at any point in time and just have 4 GoPros and wireless mics, and I can do it anywhere. And I think that's a cool thing. And we were talking about that 4 years ago, but now the equipment and the technology is there to do it. So that's kind of the goal. But yeah, you guys always had that support. I somehow, you know, managed to get my way through my first ever festival. No idea what I'm doing. And you guys were the co-headliners with Crowbot and Skookstock. Still people talk about it as a really cool experience. And like I said, just you guys have always shown that support, and thank you for coming on here and being episode 2.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I mean, if I can say it real quick, dude, keep doing it. Keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? This is what you love to do. I would just keep doing it.
I appreciate that.
You're really good. I love your voice.
Thank you, man.
It's smooth. I'm like, I felt calm. I felt like I was at home. You know what I'm saying?
I try to put my guests at ease and make you say crazy things.
My whole life to you, and it was the good and the bad. No.
Yeah, and listen, going back to your family, a beautiful family. I think one of the things I always tell people is, you know, when you go to the store and you buy that picture frame and they have that stock family, and you're like, man, that is the family you want. That's his family. I swear to God, they should just take all your Instagram photos of you and your beautiful family and just go to every store and put those in the stock frames, and they'll sell frames like they're nobody's business.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm truly blessed, man. No joke. I don't deserve any of that, and I have it, so I'm grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. Anything in closing you want to get out there?
Keep tuning into this podcast because it's just awesome. Why not? Seriously. That's all I have to say.
The link tree is below if you want to sign up and be a guest. I'm down to anybody, musicians. If you just have a story, something you went through and you think your story would help somebody, I'm down for anything. This is like a group of everything. So before I was doing pro wrestling content, so I'll have a lot of people in the pro wrestling industry on here talking. I love music, so musicians will be on here. I interviewed a guy who made his own horror movie the first episode. So there's something for everyone on this show. It's going to be a group of everything. I'm not really a believer, but I like paranormal stuff. So if you have a spooky story or somewhere we can go and record and it's scary, I'm down to go and do it. Like, this is open for anyone to come and tell their story, and let's have a good time and have a fun conversation. And that is the ABJ podcast. Have you seen the little sticker that we just put out with the I Heart ABJ? Yeah.
Yes, I did. I like
people it. People are loving it. They're loving the I Heart ABJ. But
awesome.
Like I said, we do have merch. Some new merch was just put out there. A guy who my buddy Chase from CR Media, he just made me some logos. We did a spoof of the Dare to keep kids away from drugs and alcohol. So there's an ABJ Dare logo spoof, and there's some NWO ones. So there's some new merchandise. If you want to rock a t-shirt, buy some stickers, all those stuff is below, as well as the sign-up sheet. Patreon, anything that you can, if you want to support, you can. If you don't have monetary support, I get it. Times are tough right now. Leave a review, hit like, hit subscribe, share this out to people. It all helps. But thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. ABJ Podcast sometime next week. Stay tuned with all social media. I'll be announcing our next guest, and we'll see you guys very soon. We're out of here. Here's some Billy Trey with some outro music.